Well, speaking of expanding influence, Russian President Vladimir Putin has told leaders from African states meeting in St. Petersburg that Moscow is forgiving $23 billion of debt owed by them. Putin is also promising to maintain grain supplies to the continent and to increase Russia's diplomatic presence there. He's blaming the West for high food prices and inflation after printing money during the pandemic. Putin says the global economic system is going through significant change.
The
African continent is indeed becoming a new center of power. Its political and economic role is growing exponentially. Everyone will have to take this reality into account. For example, let's look at the initiative by a number of African states on solving the Ukraine crisis, which is an acute problem. We are not shying away from reviewing it. Previously, any mediation missions were monopolized exclusively by countries with so-called advanced democracies. Not anymore. Now, Africa is ready to help solve the problems that seem outside its primary interests. We treat your initiatives with respect and carefully study them.
Well, let's speak to our correspondent, Ali Hashem. He joins us now from that summit in St. Petersburg. Ali, some very interesting rhetoric there today from Putin. What do you make of the tone?
Well, Nastasia, it seems very clear that Putin and Russia are setting their priorities for the next several years. Africa now isn't just a place to invest or just a place to have security presence or a place to have diplomatic ties. There are plans for Africa, and this is what Putin said in his opening speech yesterday. He made several initiatives, and today it's clear also from his second speech. Yesterday he met all the leaders. Today he met 7 leaders in the morning, the ones carrying the Ukraine initiative, Ukraine peace plan. And now he's, at this time, meeting all the leaders once again. So 3 meetings with all the leaders of Africa, or most of the leaders who are attending, 17 leaders out of 54. Now, yesterday there were several initiatives. Today also he mentioned the role Africa is going to play alongside Russia and other countries in creating a new world order, a just world. And also he recalled the role the Soviet Union used to play in Africa in building energy plants and building factories. And he said that Russia wants to play this role once again.
Ali, do we have a sense of Moscow's intentions behind the many gestures of goodwill that have been announced?
Well, it's the struggle for Africa, the big struggle for Africa. The West, China, Russia, Iran, many countries are trying to set their foot in Africa, to have a footprint in Africa. And we've been hearing in the past years on the Wagner Group, which is a Russian group that's been involved in security matters, whether in CAR, in Central African Republic, in Sudan, in Libya, in Mali, Burkina Faso. And today there are kind of hints or analysis or accusations for the Wagner Group of being kind of implicated in what's happening in Niger. So the Russians have ambitions in Africa. The previous ambitions of the Soviet Union are now carried by President Putin's government. And it seems that this forum that's concluding its activities today, this summit, was one of the main bridges to start this new initiative towards Africa.
Very interesting times. Ali Hashem there at that summit for us in St. Petersburg. Thank you, Ali.